there. Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Asia. I am your host, Asia Stokes. By trade, I am a clinical dietitian, but I also have a degree in culinary arts, so I am a cook or a chef, if you will. Today, we're going to be cooking guacamole. That's one of my favorite dishes to prepare. It's very easy. It's very simple. It only requires a few ingredients, so let's get started. Now, one safety point I do want to point out, please be sure you're washing your hands before you're cooking with your meals, even at home. It's very important to cut down on germs and contamination of the food. So, of course, I've already washed my hands prior to dealing with the food that we're going to be dealing with today. But so like I said, we're going to be making guacamole, and it's just a few simple ingredients. One of the main ingredients, of course, is avocados. This is going to be a good source of fat. So similar to like the peanut butter, the olive oil, and things like that, your avocados are a good source of fat. So that's going to be the main ingredient today. Of course, I like to use purple onion in my guacamole. We also have some tomatoes. We've got some cilantro, some limes. So like I said, that's just the gist of the ingredients for the guacamole we're going to be making today. Now, as you can see, I kind of got a head start on some of the ingredients, but I do want to demonstrate how to chop some of these items up in case you need it. Excuse me. So I've got my tomato here. Like I said, I like to add some fresh diced tomato. And so really, for this recipe, you can only use about 1/4 of a cup if you want to. But like I said, I'm a vegetable person, so I like adding more vegetables to my dishes if I can. So as you can see, I'm just kind of cutting them into quarters. And now me, if you're a tomato lover, then maybe you want all the guts in your guacamole. But me, I like to get some of the seeds out first. So after I quarter them, I'm just going to kind of take my knife and gently scrape some of these seeds out. All right. Sometimes it may be easier just to take this whole middle part out if it's giving you a little trouble. All right. All right. So I've got my seeds taken out. And like I said, you just want to do a small dice. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just a small dice. Take this middle part out. Take this middle part out as well. All right. So I'm going to add this to the tomatoes that I already have here in this bowl. All right, now like I said, I like to use purple onion in mine. I'm sure if you don't like purple onion, you can use the white onion, you can use the sweet onion. The purple onion just kind of gives it a different flavor. It also gives it color. I know a lot of times we eat with our eyes as well as our tongue as well. So this purple onion really does kind of give it a pop of color. And so I've already got some onion chopped up in my bowl. I'm just going to add just a little bit more. And like I said, if you're not an onion person, by all means, you don't have to add it at all, or you can just add a little bit less. So once again, just a small dice, kind of how we did our tomatoes. All right, so I'm going to add that to my bowl. Like I said, I've already got some onions in there. And now next is the avocado. Now, the riper the avocado, the easier this process will be. You'll know an avocado is ripe when it's mushy, when you can kind of squeeze on it and it kind of has some give, it's kind of squishy, that's when you know an avocado is truly ripe. Now, not that you can't use some of the harder avocados because there are some out there, but they will be a lot harder to cut and to peel from the skin. So please, I do want to make a word of caution. Be careful when you're cutting into this avocado. Of course, we know there's a big old seed on the inside. So I'm going to demonstrate to you how to do this avocado. So you want to take it, of course, and also rinse your vegetables too before you cut them. We know majority of our vegetables are grown from the ground, and when they go to the stores, they're not necessarily rinsed or pre-washed before we get them. So please be sure that you are washing your vegetables and your fruits before you cut into them. There is vegetable wash out there. I like to just use plain tap water, but keep in mind that whenever you're cutting into these fruits and vegetables without washing them, the dirt and the germs and bacteria, as you're cutting, they're going to seep into the middle of your fruit and vegetable, the parts that you're eating. So once again, please be sure that you are rinsing those off before you start cooking and cutting into them. But you want to take your avocado, you want to get a good grip on it, such as this, and you want to take your knife and you just kind of want to cut it right down the middle in half. And like I said, there's a big old seed on the inside of this that will kind of stop your knife. And so you just want to kind of go around the avocado. And once again, please be careful when you're doing this. You don't want to cut yourself. But you just want to kind of run your knife along the avocado. And like I said, that seed is kind of stopping that knife from penetrating all the way through. And once you've kind of made it 360, you just want to turn it. And that's how you cut your avocado in half, okay? And once again, we've got that hard seed in there that we want to get out. It would be a lot easier with a spoon. I don't have a spoon right now, so I'm going to use this fork. But you want to, there we go, it popped right out. All right. And so a trick that you can do with this avocado, of course, you can just start peeling and put it in your bowl. But a trick that you can do with your avocado, especially if it's really ripe as it is now, let me get this little seed out of here. All right, so there was a little seed in there that I wanted to get out. But a trick that you can do with your avocado, especially if it's very ripe like this, you can take a small paring knife and you can kind of run some lines through it. And once again, please be careful as you don't want to cut yourself. But you just want to kind of run some lines through it such as that, and run some lines through it across as well. And so you see, and then kind of take your finger and run it across the edge to get the avocado separated from the skin. And you can just kind of thump it like so. All right. And so I do have a piece of a seed that I am going to get out. Nobody wants to eat seeds. All right, so we're going to do the same thing with the other half. Like I said, just gently run your knife long ways. And then you want to take it and you want to run it short ways. I believe they call this, what, hot dog and hamburger style. All right. All right, and like I said, just kind of take the edge, kind of take your thumb and gently go along the edge to kind of separate that avocado from that skin. All right, and then you take it and you just kind of flip it and you have an empty avocado shell.
Fairview Fitness Center, open 24/7 with staffed hours available every day. Push your fitness further with our fitness classes. Join today and see the benefits of a healthy life. Fairview Fitness Center, serving our community for over 30 years. For more information, call 353-1900. Visit us at 200 Industrial Boulevard behind Fairview Hospital or log on to fairviewfitness.com.
All right, so just to give a brief recap of what we've done so far and to show you what I've got in my bowl. Now, this is about 2 avocados that I have in the bowl. Like I said, I chopped up one prior to getting on camera. But we also have some purple onion and we also have some tomatoes. Usually, you could do, like I said, you could just do about 1/4 of a cup of onion, 1/4 of a cup of tomatoes, maybe about 2 avocados. I'm a vegetable person, so I like to try to stick in as many vegetables as I can. So that's what we've done so far. Like I said, small diced onions and small diced tomatoes and about 2 avocados. Now, depending on how many you're feeding, you may want to do more avocados or less. But that's what we've gotten so far. So the next ingredient that I'm going to be working with is a lime. I want a fresh lime. Now, of course, you can use lime juice if you don't feel like going through the process of dealing with a fresh lime, but you can use the lime juice as well. But I like using whole fresh limes in my guacamole. So one tip that you can do to kind of get the juices flowing is roll your lime on the countertop. And so I don't know if you can see, but just kind of roll your lime on the countertop. You can do the same thing with your lemons, your oranges, just to kind of get the juices flowing if that's what you're really going to use. So I'm just going to give this lime a quick roll on the countertop. All right. And then I'm going to take my knife and I'm just going to cut it in half. Because like I said, really all I want for this recipe is the juice. So I'm going to take my bowl. Let me get that seed out of the way. All right. And so I'm just going to take my bowl. Be sure that you're paying attention to any seeds that may be on the inside of your lemons and your limes, because of course nobody wants to eat a hard seed. And so really, like I said, I just want the lemon juice. So I'm just going to take it and using my hands kind of as a guard to prevent any seeds that may fall into the bowl. And I'm just going to squeeze the juice from this lemon. All right. Give it a couple squeezes to make sure I get it all in there. All right, I think the life of this lime is just about gone. So I'm gonna give my hands just a quick rinse. Now I'm only gonna use half of the lime. Now, if you're one who really likes tangy foods or citrusy foods, by all means, you can add the other half of the lime. But I'm just going to add a half of it because sometimes it can be a little too strong or overbearing when you have more of this lime juice in there. And the final ingredient that I'm going to add to this guacamole is going to be some cilantro. I know we kind of worked with cilantro last week for decoration, but I'm actually going to be adding this to the guacamole this time around, okay? And so by all means, if you're not a fan of cilantro and you prefer something like parsley or something like that, you're more than welcome to substitute when necessary as you feel you need to. But I'm just going to grab a few of these sprig leaves off the top. You can add some stem too, but I really just want the leaves. And you really don't need a whole lot either. Like I said, the more you use, the stronger it's going to be. So if you're not a cilantro person, by all means, you don't have to use as much, or you can substitute it with something else, with another herb of your choice. All right. So I'm just going to take this. I'm just going to kind of bunch these up. I'm going to use a small paring knife, and I'm going to run my knife through the cilantro. It doesn't have to be teeny tiny, but you just kind of want to run your knife through it. It smells really good. It smells really fresh and springy. I know the spring is around the corner. All right. So like I said, you just want to run your knife through here a few times just to kind of break these leaves up and release those aromas and that. All right, so getting off my fingers just a little bit. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this fresh cilantro to my bowl. All right, so I'm going to take a fork. You want a fork because you're going to want to break up this avocado, of course, into smaller pieces. Now, like I said, the riper your avocado, the easier this process is. If you're using avocados that are not as ripe and they're kind of hard, it's going to be a little harder to mash them up. So you just want to take your fork, excuse me, and you want to start smashing these avocados and mushing them up. So see, like I said, the softer the avocado, the easier it kind of gives during this process. And at the same time, you also want to be mixing in your vegetables as well. This takes a little arm strength, so be prepared to exercise when making this recipe. All right, so just a quick tip I want to add while I'm working with this guacamole, excuse me. If you are encountering some of those harder avocados that aren't really mashing like you need it to, by all means, take your paring knife, and of course, cautiously, you can kind of chop up those problem pieces of avocado that are giving you trouble. Like I said, just take your knife and just kind of gently maybe chop them up a little smaller to kind of give you a little more leeway when you're trying to chop them up. So that's what I'm doing right now, is using my little paring knife and just kind of bringing them up against the side of the bowl and chopping them into a little smaller pieces if you are having trouble breaking some of these avocados down, okay? So, and now some people like their guacamole, excuse me, to be mush and like it to be consistent. Some people like to still have a little bit of shape of avocados in their guacamole. So it's completely up to you whether or not you want to leave some chunks in there or if you want to make it mush. It's completely up to you. All right, and one thing I did forgot to do, I forgot to season my avocado. Now, of course, we have that fresh lime juice in there. We've got the cilantro in there. We've got the flavor of the avocados in there. But there's nothing wrong with adding a little bit of salt and pepper as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. And like I said, you don't want to overload it with salt. You really just need a dash of salt. So just give it a quick sprinkle. I'm also going to add some black pepper to it as well. All right. So let's go ahead and give this a good mix. All right, and see, that's about what you've got. Like I said, you can mash those avocados as much as you want to, or if you still like to leave a little shape to your avocados, you're more than welcome to do that as well. This is just about done. I'm gonna go ahead and bowl it up, and when we come back, I'm gonna show you how to make your own tortilla chips in the oven to go with these, to go with this guacamole. So stay tuned. We have to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back with Cooking with Asia.
For over 21 years, JT Hanna has provided Dublin and Middle Georgia with quality promotional products and superior service you can count on. JT Hanna specializes in screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving. We also provide customers with original artwork and logos through our talented in-house design. Our website makes designing and ordering t-shirts easy. You can design, choose from an uploaded template, or upload your own custom logo to easily create a lasting impression. Customers can also create purchase sites to make selling shirts for fundraisers or events easy and stress-free. Whether you need promotional items for your company or next event, JT Hanna can help. We take pride in delivering the highest quality products, and we take pride in serving you. Try us. I think you'll like us. Contact us today at 478-274-1267 or visit us on the web at jthanna.com.
Welcome back to Cooking with Asia. Today we made guacamole. So I've already got that bowled up and it's chilling out in the fridge because I love a nice chill guacamole. So right now I'm going to show you how to do your own tortilla chips. Now, of course, it's a lot more convenient to just go to the store, buy your bag of tortilla chips. But let's say you've had tacos last night and you have some leftover flour tortillas. You can use those to make your very own chips. So that's what we're going to do right now. So like I said, I've got just some plain flour tortillas. I think they usually, well, these are small, but I mean, you can get them in any kind of size that you want. So I'm going to take about 4 of these. Once again, depending on the amount of people that you're serving, you may need more. If you're cooking for yourself, you may need less. But I'm going to take about 4 of these, and I'm going to cut them into, you can cut them into whatever shape you'd like, but I'm going to try to cut these into triangles to kind of really get that, you know, store-bought feel almost. So I'm going to cut these in half. I'm gonna cut these in half, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut these into triangles. Once again, you can cut them as big or as small as you'd like, but this is the result. All right, so I'm gonna lay these on my baking sheet. And I'm gonna do the same thing with the other half. All right. Now to these, I'm going to drizzle them in just a little bit of olive oil. It'll help it from sticking to the pan, and it'll also kind of help give it a little bit of flavor as well. And we know olive oil is going to be another good source of fat too. Now that's not to say you can have as much good fat as you want, because it's still fat, it's just a better source of fat. They're the fats that you want to choose from the most, as opposed to the saturated fats and the trans fats that are found in a lot of animal products or animal byproducts or processed foods as well. And so I'm also going to just, like I said, give these a dash of salt as well. Key word is a dash. All right. So I'm just going to take these and I'm just going to make sure that both sides are well coated in this olive oil. All right. Make sure that both sides are well coated. Right. Once again, you don't want them drenched, you just want just a nice coat on them. All right, and kind of make sure that they're evenly spread on the baking sheet so they all can cook evenly. It's okay if they're overlapping a little bit. All right. And so I've already got my oven preheated to 350 degrees. And these are only going to take probably 10 minutes or less to crisp up like you want them. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in our oven. And once again, I've got the oven set to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And like I said, they're going to take 10 minutes or less to cook. So be sure you're keeping an eye out on them just so they don't get too hard and crisp. All right, so I believe our tortilla chips are ready. I'm going to go ahead and take those out of the oven right now. All righty. So as you can see, they're crisp, but they're not too crisp. They're not burnt. They're almost like chips. So I'm going to go ahead and take these out and put these into our bowl. And like I said, by making your own tortilla chips as opposed to buying them in the store, you are cutting back on the fat intake as well. All right. They may still have some sodium, of course, but the fat intake is also going to be a little bit less by doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and get our guacamole out of the refrigerator. All right. And so, of course, presentation is everything. Not only do we eat with our other taste buds, we also eat with our eyes as well. So I'm going to go ahead and take the other half of this lime that I used. And I really only want to use this for decoration, so. All right, and I'm also going to take some of this cilantro as well. All right, and so we've got our guacamole and homemade tortilla chips. Like I mentioned earlier, the avocado is going to be a great source of fat, and it's also a better source of fat. It's going to have a lot more of your monounsaturated and your polyunsaturated fats as opposed to the saturated fats that we want to avoid. We've also got some great vegetables in there. We've got some tomatoes, we've got some purple onion, we've got some cilantro, and also some fresh lime juice as well. And with our chips, we just took tortilla, plain flour tortillas. We chopped them up. We added a little bit of olive oil, just a dash of salt, and we baked that for about, like I said, maybe 7 to 10 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And so, of course, this guacamole is ready to eat as is. It's also great on a salad. If you want to add maybe some chopped chicken to it, it's going to be great on a salad. It's great as is. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with this after you make it. But I thank you so much for joining me. You have been tuned in to Cooking with Asia, and my name is Asia. I'll see you next time.